Well, as you can see, I made it to Washington. Here I am. And you know, I said I planned on trying to see President Obama while I was here. And, you know, I called up the White House and said, this is Messabout1 from Alabama, and I'd like to come over and see the president. And you know, they told me that you've got to have an appointment. Can you imagine that? Me, Messabout1, and going to have to get an appointment to see the president? I kind of thought I could walk right in. I'm standing now on the west side of the Capitol, kind of to the west, northwest. Anyway, it's the side of the Capitol that faces the National Mall. Look down the National Mall, and behind the camera, see the Washington Monument. Now, I'll kind of move around here so you can kind of see things behind me here. I want to show you some sculpture, some statues here in front of the Capitol building I find interesting. There are three sculptures across the, I guess that's the garden steps to this side of the Capitol, and all three of these are in relation to the American Civil War. This one shows a troop of U.S. cavalry during the war. This on the left side of the Capitol. In the very center, and looking down the National Mall, is a statue, a sculpture of General Ulysses S. Grant, who was a general that was credited with leading the Union to victory during the American Civil War, the war between the states. And for those of you that remember your American history or read some American history, General Grant went on to be President of the United States. And I guess for that reason, having saved the Union, he's been given a very prominent place here in the National Mall, directly in front of the Capitol and directly at the start of the National Mall. This is one of the lines. There are four that lay at the base of the Grant statue, and it's not every day you get to see a seagull sitting on the line's head. Right there you'll see a beautiful large white seagull sitting up on one of the heads of the lines here at this monument. And on the right side of the steps is another sculpture, another monument, and this one shows a troop of artillerymen. It shows two horses, I guess it's three horses, with a driver and a passenger and a light cannon being towed behind. I'll walk around the other side so you can see the cannon too. And then there's another soldier right beside the wagon, like he may have just been shot, still carrying the flag. And here's another view kind of to the rear. You can see the cannon back there, and you can see two soldiers in the wagon part of the cannon wagon. And then there's a third soldier who is up on one of the horses that's pulling the wagon. And I can't tell, maybe there's a fourth soldier up there. Anyway, beautiful, beautiful sculpture. Again, related to the American Civil War. And I might describe the scene a little better to you here. I'm standing directly in line between the Capitol and looking down the National Mall and back toward the Washington Monument. And there's just hundreds, and I would suppose thousands of people here, tourists, walking the streets. I wouldn't say it's thickly populated, but there are quite a few people walking around and visiting the Smithsonian and the monuments, and it's a real beautiful day to be out doing the same. And I want to say a bit more about the Capitol. The dome part you see there was being constructed during the American War between the states, and construction continued on even though the war was raging. So what you're looking at was completed during the time of Abraham Lincoln, there and after the American Civil War. Up on top is a statue. You're looking at the back of it. It's a statue of Liberty. And the dome you see there is huge inside and is open. The dome is open all the way from what you see there all the way down to the floor of the first floor. And the total height of that from the first floor up to the top of the statue on top is just about the length of a football field, around 300 feet.